when we went through the season of suffering with Matt when he was diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor, in the midst of it, I was really just trying to keep my head above water. I was just trying to rely on the people that God had given me to rely on, which is so sweet for the people of God to be the hands of and feet of Jesus for our family. So in the midst of it, I really was just depending on God's people and his voice day to day, and just meeting the needs of my kids, loving them. We kind of were just there watching Matt go through this suffering and trying to do life as normal and make it as normal as we could. It really wasn't until kind of that season evened out somewhat, where we got a little bit of normalcy back to us, that I started thinking about, how do I communicate what's going on and what could have happened with Matt to my kids? And, they were really young. Nora was probably, at this point, 2 years old. Reed was maybe 6. Audrey was a little bit older. She was 8. And I remember reading the story of Lazarus just in my own personal time. And I think the part that ministered to me the most was that Jesus knew when he was going to Mary and Martha that he was about to raise Lazarus from the dead. He knew that's what he was going to do. He was going to go wake him up, he even tells his disciples. But in the moment that he saw Mary and Martha, he entered into their grief and he grieved with them. He was grieved. And there was something comforting about that, because when you're in the midst of a trial like that, in a season of suffering, there's no guarantee what God will do. Will healing be brought on this side, or will it be on the other side? Just feeling the compassion and empathy of Christ in that moment was so helpful for me, and helpful with the kids, to say, you know what, no matter what happens, Jesus is with us and he's sad with us. And one way or another, Dad will get healing. Dad will be whole on this side or the next. And that's, using the story of Lazarus that leads into Jesus's death and resurrection, and then our death and resurrection, was what was helpful and sustained us in that season right after the thick of it.